So while I wait for a couple of batteries to be delivered, I thought it'd be interesting to try out some of the things I'd seen on the internet where you can try to recover sealed lead acid batteries. It's probably not something I'd recommend. So one of the first things you got to do is you got to cut along the seam all the way around here and then prise that off. I tried that twice. The first time it really broke up the lid. The second time I did it, it was just a little bit better, but still broken up. Then what the videos tell you to do is to take some distilled water and just squirt that into the cells to let them absorb and try and recover the cell. One interesting thing I could see about the design of these batteries is that if you ever do this and you're going to put this back up and you're going to glue it on somehow, just notice that there's two holes there. So they're pressure relief valves. So on the battery, these two pressure release valves would go into these two square holes here. And we can see that between each of the 6 cells, there's a little bit of track running. Would come out, then it would go into these square holes here, then eventually would come out through these 2 holes here. So while they're sealed, they're just sealed with a little rubber cap. If I was putting this back together again, and I might try it and see how it goes, then I'd put that on and then I'd probably put some hot glue just along the outside here, making sure not to cover up these 2 safety holes. So I've had these charged up just for a little bit and see where they're actually up to. So that one's up to 10.94 volts. That's a volt short of the 12, and this one here 10.4. So I'm not sure these are actually holding a charge. I think they just might be a little bit dead. If I take some baking powder and we'll put a little drop of that in there. If I take some pool buffer solution and put some in there, and I'll take some of my Pepsi Max and place that in there. See if we can get any extra fluid out of this battery. Okay, getting some of that liquid coming out. So this was just the liquid from when I was trying to revive this sealed lead acid battery. So let's pour that into the last one. And then we'll take some pH paper, which will show the colour range of the different pHs in there. So let's take some strips out of there, and we'll add some water just to make these into a solution. And I'll just give that a stir. Just clean out the end of that. And we'll give that a stir. See if we can compare. So how's that one doing? Okay, so it looks like that's a pH of 7. I would have expected that to be more alkali than that. So a little bit strange. So it says the ingredients: sodium, acid, phosphate and sodium bicarbonate. Maybe they balance each other out and just make it neutral. So let's just check that against the scale again. Actually, I think that could be closer to the 8 than it is to the 7. So just ever so slightly alkaline. And just for comparison, if we just stick it into some water, looking at this, we can see that the water hasn't changed colour. The pH of 7 is just no colour change. So we can see there that there's definitely a colour change on that one. And yeah, that looks like it matches the 8. So that's a pH of about 8 for the baking powder. Now for the pool buffer solution. What do we have for that one? Let's have a look. Let's say it's probably darker than the 8, so it's darker than that one. So that could be about a pH of 9, somewhere between a pH of 8 and a pH of 9. So let's take the Pepsi Max. I'd say that's probably a pH of 5, I think. Could be a pH of 6. Yep, I'm thinking that's more like a pH of 6. And let's test the water that was out of the battery. Well, that's definitely not acidic. So I'd say the water out of that battery hasn't mixed with any of the acid. So the reason I wanted to do that was I wanted to see what was inside that sealed lead acid battery, and I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to get any acid burns or anything like that off of it once I tried to open that. I guess another interesting thing would be to mix the Coke with the pool buffer. Let's mix that in and let's see what kind of pH we get out of that. So I would say that's probably more like a pH of 7. So looks like pool buffer solution is a good solution to neutralise the acid of Pepsi Max. So now we know that the battery is safe to open, or relatively safe to open. Let's get on with it. Let's see if we can open this. Let's try a bit more force. So each of these cells had fingers that were going down into the plates into the battery. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells. And there we go, what's inside. So it's lead plates sandwiched into layers. And you can see that some of that lead's actually become quite brittle. These battery plates seem to be made up of little cells there. That material doesn't feel like it's got a lot of weight to it, whereas this plate does feel like it's got a bit of weight to it. So that there is one of the battery plates. Cheerio.